Good morning, students. So last day we have discussed about parts of flower and its function, and today we are going to discuss about inflorescence. What does that mean and its function and its parts. So what is the meaning of inflorescence? Here you can see arrangement and distribution of flowers on a plant. You have seen that plants are having flower which is arranged in a particular or definite manner. So this type of arrangement is called inflorescence. Okay. So flower, we know flower is a modified shoot which is a modified stem and is adapted for the purpose of reproduction. What is the main function of a flower? It helps in reproduction. Okay. Now flower may be single or they may occur in clusters. What does that mean? Means in a plant sometimes only single or one flower is present, or sometimes you may see flower are present in a cluster or in a groups. So when flower is present in single form, means in a particular plant only one single flower will be there. This type of flower is called solitary flower, and the stalk of a solitary flower is called pedicel. So the solitary flower is divided into two halves. First one is solitary terminal and second one is solitary axillary. Here you can see I have drawn the diagram also. This is the stalk. To repeat, what is the solitary flower? When in a plant only one single flower is present. So it is differentiated into two halves. First, solitary terminal. Solitary terminal borne at the tip of the main stem or its branches. Here you can see this diagram. These are the flowers. So single flower occur at the tip of main branches. Here you can see all the flowers remains at the tip of all the branches or the stalk. It's called solitary terminal, and the example is poppy. Okay, let's go to solitary axillary. Solitary axillary borne in the axil of a foliage leaf. What is the meaning of foliage leaf? Means it is the leafy part of a plant. And what is the meaning of axil? I'm going to show you which part is called axil. Particularly this part is called axil of a plant, and the example is hibiscus. So when single flower occur in the axil or the ordinary grain or the foliage leaves are called solitary axillary. So we have understood when flower is present in single form, it is called solitary flower. What happens when the flower remains and stays in a cluster or in a group? That time it is called inflorescence. When the flower is present in a group or cluster, that type of arrangement is known as inflorescence. We are going to learn now. So here again inflorescence are two types. First one is cymose inflorescence. Second one is racemose inflorescence. So here you can see the two diagram here. Now we are going to learn about cymose inflorescence. So the first point is the terminal axis is with a flower arresting the growth of peduncle. What does that mean? So here the growth is limited. Here the growth has been limited by the oldest flower. This old flower limits the growth of the flower. Number 2 point is youngest flower found on the bottom of an axis. Here you can see the oldest flower remain at the tip of a plant, whereas the youngest flower remain at the bottom of an axis. Okay. Next is basipetal succession. So we can find this type of succession in that kind of plant where the youngest one remain on the bottom and the oldest one remain on the top of a plant. And now number 4 is centrifugal opening. What is the meaning of centrifugal opening? That means that in the middle, when you take a flower like this, in the middle you will find the old flower, and around this you will find the youngest flower. That means it goes from the center to the periphery. So this type of features we can find, which is called centrifugal opening. So now we are going to learn about racemose inflorescence. Here you can see the diagram. The axis continues to grow. What does that mean? In this type of flower, the growth is indeterminate, means growth doesn't stop by the old or the young flower. Here we have seen growth has been stopped by the oldest flower. Axis continues to grow. Number 2 point is youngest bud are present at the tip of an axis. Here you can see the youngest one remains at the tip, whereas the oldest one remain at the bottom. Here we will go to cymose. Here we have seen the oldest one remain at the tip and the youngest one remain at the bottom. But here oldest one remain at the tip, but youngest one remain at the tip, but the oldest one remain at the bottom. Okay, next is aeropetal succession. What does that mean? When in a flower the oldest flower remain at the bottom and the youngest flower remain at the top, this type of succession we call it aeropetal succession. Racemose inflorescence shows the aeropetal succession. Last is centripetal opening. In this type you will find that first the oldest or the bigger flower, then the smaller, then at the tip the younger one. Okay, so it looks like the flower is moving from its periphery to its center. This type of opening is called centripetal opening. So here now we are going to just understand the differentiate between cymose and racemose. See, first point was the growth is arresting here, and this type growth is continuous. And the next point is the youngest flower found on the bottom of an axis and the youngest bud are present on the top of an axis. Youngest one flower we can find at bottom, and whereas youngest one we can find at the top one. Basipetal succession, what does that mean? We have discussed, means your oldest one remain at the tip and the youngest one remain at the bottom. And aeropetal succession shows the centrifugal opening, it shows the centripetal opening. That's so let's go through again. First, what is the meaning of inflorescence? The arrangement and distribution of flower on a plant. Okay, and what is the main function of a flower? That is, it helps in reproduction. So now flower sometimes remain in a single, or it may occur in a cluster or in a group. When flower is present in a single form, it is called solitary flower, and when it remains in a arranged or a clusters, it is called inflorescence. Now solitary flower is divided into two halves. First one is solitary terminal, second one is solitary axillary. What is the meaning of solitary terminal? Where it is the tip of the main stem